y'all, and welcome to the Hillbilly Chicken Ranch. I'm Susan, your hostess. We are at my sewing machine today because we're going to do some mending. I've got a lot of projects on my lap. I think I've got four projects. Anyway, mending is Frugal Living Challenge 25, hosted by me, the Hillbilly Chicken Ranch. It is an open collaboration till the end of the year. Anybody can jump on. Just use the hashtag Frugal Living Challenge 25. Tag my channel, the Hillbilly Chicken Ranch, and use the official playlist, which will be listed below this video. So, mending. A lot of people don't know how to mend or to adjust clothing, etc. And my first project is a pair of sleep pants that I bought because my other sleep pants were getting too big. And when I put them on, they were way too long. So I'm going to start by adjusting the top, and I'll tell you why. When I went into my drawer and found a pair that is the right length, this pair here is the right length, I held it up at the seat. So I held it at the seat because I wanted to check the length of the pants. That was the first thing I wanted to check. And they are going to be a little bit long, so I'm going to have to do a couple of adjustments. Let me get these pant legs straightened out here. So I'm going to have to do a little adjustment at the bottom. But I also have to do an adjustment at the top because where this falls is too long-waisted for me. It comes way up underneath my bust instead of where it should fall. So I have actually pinned off where I'm going to be trimming. And you notice this pin over here is lower than that. That's the way the pants were when I did the adjustment. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to fold that top over and just make a straight cut. Then I'm going to reattach my band at the top. After that's done, I'm going to check the length again, and I'll try them on to make sure that everything is good. Then I'm going to, instead of cutting this off and putting a new cuff on it, I'm just going to fold it under and make a new cuff because they're sleep pants. Very simple straight stitch using a polyester thread. So that's project number one, and I'll probably do that one first because I have white thread already on my sewing machine. So my husband was at work, and he tore his pocket. And y'all, he tore his pocket. So I'm going to mend this. Not so much the hole in the pocket. Let me pull this Velcro loose. Not so much this. I can do a patch over that and just hand stitch around the little patch. But that pocket needs to be fixed. So I've got that to do. He's actually got another pair around here somewhere that has the exact same thing that needs to be mended because these pants are expensive, and I think he said it was like $136 for 5 pairs, so that runs up after a while. And so if we can make these last a little bit longer, we're saving money in the long run, and we can replace the pants once they get worse. He also has a work tee, and he's got a hole here underneath the arm. So we're going to take care of that. And I'll probably use black thread on that because it's going to be on the inside. Nobody's going to see it. The last one is a dress I picked up at the thrift store. And I didn't notice this when I bought it, but I noticed it after I washed it. It came apart at the seam. I did check it, and it is right at the seam. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in there, and I'm going to stitch over that a few times to make sure that that is good and secure, and it stretches, so I've got to make sure that I've got it pulled as I'm sewing to get that seam back in place. And it's a really, really cute dress, and I do want to wear it. It's got smocking at the top, which I think is really sweet. And it's a really cute dress. So that's my projects. So I snipped off the decorative ribbon because it was just there for decoration, and I've snipped off that section of fabric that I no longer need. And I pinned it a little bit to get started, and y'all can see I cut through the label. So I pinned it, and as I go, I'm going to stretch that fabric to make sure that it is going with the elastic. So we're going to get this started, and I'm actually going to start over here. So here we go. I've got my machine set to 0 and 2.5 and 0 for the stitch width and length. You've got to make sure I'm grabbing both pieces of fabric. And I'm just going to stitch over the elastic part because, well, got to get it up there first. It's just going to make it easier on me, I think. So I might be able to trim a little bit more off when I get started. And we're going to go ahead and move these pins out of the way. And I'm going to be pulling on the bottom, and, well, on the top fabric, and the bottom will lay flat as I'm stitching. All right, I finished sewing that, and y'all can see I've got a little gather there, a little pucker. That's okay. They are the right length, so I don't have to do the cuffs on them. So that's perfect for what I was hoping for. And now I can wear these as sleep pants. So that worked out really, really well. And I picked those up really cheap at the thrift store. Y'all, little mending sometimes you have to do. So I've got to change out my thread on here. I'll be right back. Okay, I've taken my little compartment off the front of my machine, and here it is, so that I have an open arm that I can work off of. And I'm going to slide my pants over that, and hopefully I'll be able to get this pocket sewn back in place. We're going to start at the inside seam. I'm going to line it up, line my needle up with the stitches already there. I'm going to make sure I've got that little corner turned in. Get the other leg across me because I don't need it in the way. Drop my plate. Get it where I can turn. And that might mean stuffing the pant leg through. And we're just going to sew down this corner. going to snip my thread on top. We're going to work to the bottom. And snip that thread as well, and then we'll come back and do the second part. And again, I'm going to try to hit that right on where the thread is at on there already. It may be a little bit off, but that's okay. But I want to try to get it as close as I possibly can. Drop that plate. I'm just going to do a little reverse stitch on this outside one, just to make sure that that pocket stays secured. Get my thread situated. And we're going to do this bottom part here to the V-point on the pocket. And make sure I'm on that stitch mark. I'm pulling all the extra fabric away from that pocket. Let's go ahead and back stitch that one and come forward. A little back stitch there and lift my needle. Get that foot out of the way. Top thread cut. And the pocket is secure now. I'm going to go ahead and I will patch this off camera, but I could do an embroidery stitch over this and just patch over that a little bit. But I think what I'm going to do is put a patch in there on the inside and then try to do a little embroidery stitch over the top. That way it won't rip any further. Okay, that's the thread that came loose off the t-shirt, so I'm just going to clip that. And I'm not going, well, they used a zigzag with a straight stitch. So let's look and see. It would be either 6 or 7. Let's try 6. And let's try 7. Okay, either one of those is going to have to change out the foot. So this is going to, see if I can remember how to drop the foot. There it is. There's a little button in the back that I pushed. I'm going to pull this thread to the side, pull my needle all the way up because I don't want to get my hand. And I need the G foot. Oops, knocked my light thing off. Okay, I've got my G foot. There's a little G right in there. And I'm going to place it underneath my shaft there. And I'm going to lower this down. sure it catches with that button. Then I can lift it back up. I got to grab my thread and get that in here. And I believe that's it. I've never used this foot before, but we're going to try it out. So I know that I've got just a small area that needs to be stitched. I want to make sure that it lines up perfectly. And I'm actually going to go back a little further on my piece, lining that thread up with the previous stitches. And then I'll come a little bit forward over that just to make sure that it is good and secured. So let me get it turned right. And make sure that fabric is up. Okay, there's my mend. And there is the armhole. So now I have saved the company a little bit of money of replacing a t-shirt because of a small imperfection in the sewing quality of the company that sewed the t-shirt. There's our last mend, and basically all I'm going to do is pull that. I'm going to switch this back to the J that I had on here previously, and then we're going to go with that. So I'm going to go ahead and set this back to 0. Change out my foot. When using this foot, this G foot, there's a little bar right there. You need to slide your fabric backwards when you come off your machine. So let me find my J hook real quick. I should have left it out. And there it is. Big old J in the middle of it. Line it up. Drop that foot down, that bar down. Where is the button? There we go. It's now connected. Put that back in my bag so I don't lose it. That's one good thing about this Brother Project Runway Limited Edition is it came with a lot of different feet and stitches that you can use. So I'm going to lift that foot back up. I'm going to pull this thread underneath it into the back. And where is my mend spot? I just had it. I'm actually going to sew up here in that stitch there because it's so raveled along the edge of the other piece that I'll be able to capture it. And we're just going to stretch our fabric and that elastic in there. Make sure that you got both pieces where you can grab it with the machine. And we're just going to start stitching. Oh, I got to dry my foot. I'm going to trim off some of this fuzz. because we don't need that. Pull my thread to the back, and I'm going to go to number 3 or number 4. I think I'm going to do number 4. And this is the area that I had just stitched over. So I'm just going to go over the edge of that with a zigzag to kind of capture that raw edge. And so I'm going to get my needle lined up. Get rid of my threads. This is the area that was mended. We're going to flip this over. And now you can't tell that there was ever a mend back there. It's all beautiful. Look at that. Part of a housewife or a farm wife is learning how to mend and make do with what you have. I have lost a lot of weight, so I had to buy some clothes recently, but I was so excited to find this dress. And now the back of the dress looks as good as the front of the dress. No more hole there. And I got the dress for a bargain. The t-shirt, I saved the company some money of having to replace a t-shirt because underneath one of the arms, there was a hole. And so now there's no more holes. My husband can wear that to work. And his work pants are fixed, except for me patching that little hole in the pocket itself. The pocket is attached and it won't come loose. Now it could come loose on the other side, but that would be another day for another mend. Finally, the sleep pants, and I know the season's almost over for sleep pants, has had some inches removed from the top to make them the right length for me, waist-wise and the pant leg length. And I was grateful that I did not have to hem the ends of my pant legs as well. If you like this kind of content, please hit the button. Make sure you're hitting the bell so that you can get all of our content. Leave a meaningful comment and share this out. It's so important for us and for our growth. And I really do appreciate and read each and every comment. Thank you, my friends, for watching, and may you be fully blessed.